What's up guys, I'm Caden with Crypto Now or Never and welcome back to another one of my videos. If you enjoy this style of content, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. As always, none of this is financial advice. Let's get into it.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want.
Alright, now we're going to start off with the usual technical analysis update. So I'm actually going to start out by showing you guys Bitcoin on the daily time frame. So what you guys need to understand about Bitcoin on the daily is that we are still beneath the 200-day moving average, which is the yellow line right here that I have circled. I want to be crystal clear, the 200-day moving average is a very important level. This is a level that we absolutely have to get back above if we are going to confirm a breakout. Now, if you look at the stochastics are starting to get very overbought. In addition, if you look at price action, it's swinging down, whereas the RSI is slightly swinging up, which is Class A bearish divergence. Now, to be clear, the bearish divergence can absolutely be negated. We would just need to see price action actually get a pump above this previous high. But as we stand right now, it doesn't look like we have that much juice left. I'm not saying that we can't get back above this level, but there's absolutely a possibility where we'd see price action actually pump up to this level, but then get rejected. If something like that happens, then expect a short-term pullback. In general, we would just want to make sure that we would put in a higher low, though, when we actually pull back. If we come down here and we put in a lower low, then expect more downside. We would clearly not be ready to actually break out. But regardless of what happens on the daily time frame, I still want you guys to understand that the weekly actually looks very good. And overall, the weekly is a more important time frame because this is where you have the biggest misconceptions. See, a lot of people right now think that we are in a clear downtrend, but that's not necessarily the case. We have been trending down for about the last 5 months or so. However, from a macro standpoint, we are still in a very clear uptrend. Right now, price action is still holding a higher high and a higher low. And the fact that price action came down and basically bounced off of the previous high could be a classic support and resistance flip. That is everything that you were looking for to confirm an uptrend. In addition, when you look at the RSI and stochastics, they're both very oversold. And then as I've been showing you guys recently, if you add the M2 Global Liquidity Index, you can see that we are increasing yet again. And in the past, when we have found a local top, we usually explode several weeks after. Local top right here, explosion, local top, explosion, local top, explosion. And there's a chance that we have already found a local top. Now, does this guarantee that we're going to break out? No, it does not, but it usually front runs an explosion. So from a long-term standpoint, I think Bitcoin actually looks phenomenal right now. But I can't be any more clear. The weekly takes time to actually play out. Remember, if the daily does not get back above the 200-day, then expect more downside in the short term. And even if it does get back above this level, you still should expect some sort of a pullback. There's going to come a point in time where the stochastics need to reset. If you just look throughout their history, they always do. We just want to make sure that we put in a higher low. What's actually very interesting about Bitcoin though is it has been pumping over the last 2 days. But if you look at the meme coin market and the crypto market in general, a lot of projects are down over the last 24 hours. Dogecoin's down 4%, SHIB's down 3%, Pepe's down almost 4%. I'm not saying there's not any green in here, but if you scroll down, it's mainly red. And that right there just goes to show you that Bitcoin dominance is still very strong. And this is why recently I've been telling you, if you want to see Hoppy and a lot of these other projects break out, you need to see Ethereum break out. Because when you look at Ethereum on the weekly time frame, we're basically still on a falling knife. We need to see Ethereum actually reclaim key levels. Now, what is interesting about Ethereum, though, is that the Pectra upgrade comes out on May 7th. And as I've been saying in my last several videos, inflation came in lower than expected. That could end up leading to rate cuts, and it also could lead to the end of quantitative tightening. And the last time that we saw a true altcoin season was during quantitative easing. Quantitative tightening is not good for risk on assets. So if that ends, it naturally could improve risk on assets. And there's a decent chance that they could end it by May or June. So again, keep in mind, Bitcoin dominance is very high right now. So if you look at Hoppy right now, you can see that it's at a $9.1 million market cap. And I want to point out that obviously, no, it's not exploding right now, but most projects aren't exploding. But what I like about Hoppy is that it is still clearly holding a higher low. If Hoppy can continue holding a higher low and it manages to break out of this bull flag, then we absolutely could create an uptrend. Now, the issue will be if Bitcoin does pull back on the daily time frame, how will Hoppy actually react? That's where, again, it will be very important to see if we can hold a higher low. But so far, so good. Obviously, you do have to understand that technical analysis can be very hit or miss on meme coins, though. The reality is that they are heavily driven based on hype. So if all of a sudden Hoppy comes out with some super bullish news, then the chart is probably going to explode. But if the hype just fades out, then you can expect Hoppy to just bleed over time. When you look at the Hoppy X account, they're still continuing to post their memes every single day. And a lot of their memes are pretty funny. I actually do like them. Again, right now it's just hard to judge Hoppy because Ethereum is still bleeding. Yes, Ethereum is up a little bit from the lows because it was under 1400. However, we have still not started an actual macro uptrend. If we see a situation where Ethereum does break out and Hoppy is still bleeding, then yes, that's an issue. But for all of you guys worried about Hoppy right now, it's just hard to judge Hoppy. The reality is that we have no idea how Hoppy is going to do. We have to see Ethereum break out first. And naturally, if Ethereum breaks out, then Pepe would probably break out. And if Pepe breaks out, then it should be good for all of its derivatives, which Hoppy is a Pepe derivative. So just keep your eyes on Ethereum and then keep your eyes on Pepe. All of that being said, though, if you guys are interested in joining a like-minded community and getting into projects super early like Hoppy, then I also recommend taking a look at my Discord. As a lot of you guys know, I first posted a buy alert for Hoppy at a $580,000 market cap. At its peak, we ran up to a 253x. So if this is the kind of community that you wish to be a part of, then you'll find the link right here on my YouTube homepage. I really would love to see you guys in here. But that's about all. Let me know down in the comments whether or not you guys still believe in Hoppy long term. If you found this content valuable, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.